With AEW previously having plans to bring in Lita and an update on Sunny following her arrest, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for January 15th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. While WWE has been seen as the be-all end-all of pro wrestling, that seems to no longer be the case for many in the business. With Toni Storm's recent walkout from WWE, Ringside News posed the question, writing, WWE's constant releases are not going to stop, so it's hard to say no when someone requests a release. We asked about the company having an open door for release requests. We were told there is an open door until it's requested by someone we don't want to release. As she looks set to take part in the Women's Royal Rumble, Impact Knockouts champion Mickie James sat down with Ariel Helwani and was asked about WWE letting go of so many talent, including herself, with her responding, "I genuinely find it to be head-scratching, but then again, the company has had an immense amount of hirings throughout the years, so they had expanded when it has gone on the road because it had almost like a whole division of just NXT and WWE. Then the pandemic has crushed everyone, especially live events and touring and all of those things, and I don't know, it's just unpleasant. It sucks for my friends. It sucks for my friends to not have a place to work. And now that there's, seems to be competition like now, they have somewhere to." John Cena has been making the rounds doing interviews to promote his new Peacemaker series. When talking to Part of My Take, Cena was asked about his previous gimmick as the Doctor of Thuganomics, and if it will be brought back. Cena replied, "Over the years you've actually seen more of a good version of Doctor of Thuganomics than over the past 10 years. The appearance in the Firefly Funhouse match, the appearance at WrestleMania with Elias, it's almost like that character has taken on a sense of nostalgia itself. So when it shows up, it's a thing that gets people excited. So never say never." One consistent complaint seen amongst WWE fans are the same matches taking place over the years, whether it be Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair or the Usos versus The New Day. Even actor Macaulay Culkin called out the company over specifically having the Usos and the New Day face off so much, as Kofi Kingston said he doesn't understand fans complaining about this, stating on the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast, "It is funny that you say that, because we laugh about that all the time. I have genuinely never heard so many people complain about a guaranteed great match. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go out there and complain, well, I gotta watch another great match. Every match that we have had with the Usos, we pride ourselves on making it better than the last. I always say this, and I do not mean to compare myself to like the Dudleys and the Hardys and Edge and Christian, but with their ladder matches, that was the standard that they set, to outdo themselves every single time." WWE has announced many returns for the Women's Royal Rumble, as the Bella Twins are set to make their comeback in this bout. On their podcast, Nikki hinted at going after the women's tag team belts if she won that match, saying, "And then there's the tag titles, because I would kind of like to be the first ever winner of the Royal Rumble to kind of give the middle finger to both champions and go, I want the tag titles. How badass would that be? Would I not just be the coolest person to go down in history?" Nikki also previously noted that she can wrestle more matches after the Rumble, given she's been cleared by WWE Medical. Following her arrest in New Jersey on 2 counts of illegally possessing a weapon and 1 charge of making terroristic threats, WWE Hall of Famer Sunny has been released from jail. More details have come out regarding this incident, as police records revealed that Sunny was involved in a domestic dispute with an intimate partner. She apparently threatened the man's life with a pair of scissors, with her raising them towards the victim and threatening to kill him. She appeared in court Friday afternoon and was ordered to have weekly check-ins with the court, according to PW Insider. It would even be ruled that she can no longer possess any weapons. Rollins. This domestic dispute was apparently recorded on a dash camera from a police car that responded to the 911 call. An officer reportedly witnessed the incident Thursday, with him noting that Sunny seemed to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time. If convicted, she is looking at a possible sentence of 3 to 5 years in prison for the weapons charge and an additional year for the terroristic threats. During a match against Doudrop on Raw weeks back, Bianca Belair would pull off an amazing feat, lifting the star and hitting her with a slam for the win. While Bianca got a ton of praise for that spot, Doudrop spoke about Vince McMahon's reaction on the Wild On podcast. I knew on Sunday coming into Monday I was having a match with Bianca, and the whole segment was supposed to be 5 minutes. And I was like, oh okay, well, you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to make it the best 5 minutes that I can. I told the universe that morning, I was like, this match is going to be the best that I've had. I'm going to blow Vince's mind, and he's going to love it, blah blah blah. I get to the venue and things haven't been finished up and time goes on. Things aren't really finalized, and it's like maybe 6 o'clock and it's like, hey, you know how you had 5 minutes? It's changed and now you have 3 segments. I was like, what? Okay. At first I was like panic up until the show starts. I'm not even in gear, and at first I saw it as a problem and I was like, oh my god, what are we going to do? I have to change so much stuff. But then I was like, you know what? I asked for this, and now this is my opportunity to have a really great match and have the best match I can have. And lo and behold, as soon as I changed my mindset about it, we went out there and had an absolute banger, and Boss Man was very pleased. With Doudrop now the #1 contender to Becky Lynch's Raw Women's title, we'll have to see if she can get the job done and win the belt at the Royal Rumble. While he was in WWE, Cody Rhodes would be featured in many prominent positions, but would ultimately leave the company and eventually form AEW with others. On the Bro Show, Diamond Dallas Page was asked which AEW stars he thought could be successful in WWE. As he replied, the third guy I bring in is Cody Rhodes, who can talk as good or better than anybody in the business, and I think he would be monster money there now. He proved what he had to prove. He did it in a big way, and it would be brilliant of them to sign MJF, Britt Baker, and him. Ric Flair even noted that WWE would take Cody Rhodes back, yet this seems very unlikely to happen at best. With Lita recently making her presence felt on Smackdown, it seems another promotion wanted to have her be a part of a program with one of their top stars, with it reported that Fightful learned via sources close to Lita that AEW had reached out to the WWE Hall of Famer back in 2021 to appear in a show, but the two sides were unable to come to terms. Specifically, we learned that a pitch was made to Lita to appear in a top program with the AEW Women's Champion Dr. Britt Baker. There were talks between the two sides and a creative plan laid out to possibly happen around AEW All Out 2021, but it didn't end up happening. Lita was able to lay out the Smackdown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, as it'll be interesting to see her performance in the Women's Royal Rumble. It was previously reported that WWE is looking to bring back the Elimination Chamber for their next big show in Saudi Arabia. With it seeming like the company will not be holding their traditional Elimination Chamber pay-per-view this year, Dave Meltzer has noted that WWE is considering a name change for the chamber. It's not confirmed, but the names they are looking at are the WrestleMania Chamber or the Annual Elimination Chamber. The Forbidden Door is a term that has gained traction due to AEW's partnerships with the likes of New Japan and Impact Wrestling. Even WWE has now worked out a deal with Impact Wrestling for Mickie James, the Impact Knockouts champion, to take part in the Women's Royal Rumble. On his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T talked about WWE opening up and working with other promotions, saying that this could help them take more talent. That's where I think it might be some kind of controversy, a little bit, as far as what if these guys come in and really do well and want to actually move over to the other side. After becoming a mainstay in AEW, Jon Moxley would take time off from wrestling to go into rehab for issues with alcohol. Now Mox is set to make his pro wrestling return for Game Changer Wrestling, with the company announcing that he will defend his GCW World title against Homicide on January 23rd in Hammerstein Ballroom. The card will also feature Joey Janela vs Matt Cardona, Ali vs Ruby, Gresham vs Blake, and Team Bandito vs Team Gringo, as this will be available on pay-per-view or Fight TV. Last night on Smackdown, Aaliyah took on Natalya, where she picked up a victory. This win sets a new record for the quickest victory on the show, the record previously held by none other than The Rock. With this momentum, it'll be interesting to see how Aaliyah does when she makes her Royal Rumble debut on the 29th. Roman Reigns looks set to face Seth Rollins and defend his Universal title at the Royal Rumble. Before that, they had a moment with one another in the ring after SmackDown went off the air. Seth challenged Roman to get in the ring with him, as Roman teased fans standing on the apron. Here's the clip. As Roman backed off, the crowd erupted, raining down boos. After Rollins ate a super kick, Reigns and the Usos would team up to face Rollins and the Viking Raiders in a post-show dark match, as the crowd was sent home happy since Rollins and company picked up the win. Meltzer would previously note that the original plan for the Day 1 pay-per-view was for Rollins to win the WWE title match before Brock Lesnar was added. This leads him to believe that Seth will be taking Roman's Universal belt at the Royal Rumble. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.